Corruption is a vile disease that sucks and drains the health out of something good. Corruption in society is an evil moral infection that keeps community in the state of perpetual sickness. Corruption is a moral virus. It's so potent, it leaves its host sick, lethargic, and unable to realize and accomplish all that a well person can. Where corruption thrives, poverty and not prosperity thrives. Wealth is grabbed into the greedy, grubby hands of those who get fat on the toil and labor of good people. Corruption benefits only temporarily those who participate in it. Everyone else is a victim of the theft, the deceit, the dishonesty, and the lies that corruption feeds on. You need to know that a corrupt person is stealing from you. Corruption is filthy work and despicable acts of treachery done under the table and behind closed doors. Corruption is a disgusting shame. Corruption keeps a nation back from true development and from progress. Wise investors steer clear of a corrupt environment. They would rather put their resources into a place where the playing field of opportunity is equal for all and not bent towards feeding the financial lust of corrupt, lying, cheating, thieving politicians and government officials. How many wonderful development projects have been lost because the investors didn't want to do business in a swamp of evil? When those great projects go to another nation or to some other place, we all lose. Believe me when I tell you that corruption steals from you, it steals from all of us. Corruption plunders the nation's wealth. Corrupt people compromise on truth, equity, and fairness, choosing instead to feed off the short-term benefits of crookedness, exploitation, and financial perversion. Corruption is not just a personal matter, it's a culture. It's a way of life, not just for individual people, but for companies, communities, governments, and nations. Corrupt nations, hiding behind large companies, will seek to invest in other weak nations in order to take over the assets of the nation that they've invested into. They will provide financial loans to a nation for the much-needed infrastructure, and they will do it with assets that they provide. They will sign contracts by lining the pockets of rotten government officials who participate in this kind of corruption and are then held hostage by their own deceit and greed. Corruption is nothing less than a form of theft and national robbery. A corrupt person steals from everyone in society.
This is Global TV election campaign coverage. This is Global TV election campaign coverage. This is Global TV election campaign coverage.
Good morning, good afternoon, good morning, good afternoon, and welcome to Jamaica Decide 2024. I feel absolutely dunce this morning, and by the time I get to what we're going to talk about, you will find out why it is I'm so confused. But good morning to all, and good afternoon. Thank you all for joining us. Good morning to those, good afternoon. Good morning, good afternoon to those on the X, on Twitch, on YouTube, and on Facebook. Good morning, welcome, and thank you all for joining us. I hope you can all hear me well. Let me make sure my phone is on silent so it doesn't disturb me. Oh, I didn't realize, Debs. Yes, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Oh, I'm looking at old messages. Sorry. Bear me a second, please. Yes, how are you all doing? I hope you are having a great morning, and this entire day will be a great day for you. Today is the greatest day ever. Why? We are still alive. So it is the greatest day ever. Me and my coffee get used to us. Good morning to Debbie Jervis. Good morning, Sunshine. Good morning, veteran Jason Kane. Good morning, Patricia Matthews. Good morning and welcome. Good afternoon. For veteran, it's good afternoon. Abina, good morning, good afternoon. Good morning, good afternoon to JamaicanTV.com. Good morning, good afternoon to Abina. Good morning, good afternoon to VM. Good morning, good afternoon to Patricia Matthews. Good morning, good afternoon to Chanel Williams. Good morning to everyone on the live, in the chat, whichever platform you are on. Good morning and welcome, Monica Walton. Good morning and welcome. Thank you all for joining us this morning. Who do we tie to our horse and drag down the street this morning? Because the truth is, we can't just tie Andrew one every day and drag him down the road. Who do we tie to our horse this morning? This morning, this afternoon, who do we tie to our horse and drag down the road? There are 4 articles in the description area. I suggest you read them. One is from the Gleaner. One is from Loop. One is from the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation. And the other is from Lawfare. It is important you read them to understand this whole land debacle with the state of Jamaica and the Republic of China. They confuse me, literally. But it's important for you to read them for yourself. So nobody will walk away and say, Wayne is spreading propaganda. The more you can say, the most you can say is that Wayne walked away confused. Now the 750-acre land, and you see the confusion start now. The 750-acre land that we've been going on about. I am becoming confused. There's a 2016 article in the Gleaner or whatever. I'm going to try and squint my eye through it and read it. Bear in mind the year 2016. April 28th to be exact. So by then, our month 20. Morning, cuz, morning, Jimmy Too Cool, morning, wagwan. Remind me when month Andrew win 2016 election, but keep 2016 at focus. This argument in the Gleaner was 2016. Who do we tie to our horse this morning and drag down the street? Who do we tie to our horse this morning and drag down the street? Because we can't drag Andrew alone. Because the truth is, the Jamaica Labour Party didn't sign a lot of these land deals with China. They just didn't. Who do we drag down the road with us this morning? Millicent Jones, good morning and welcome. Not just Peter Phillips' comment, Debbie. Every darning thing in all them 4 articles I may refer to confuse me. But what confused me is when politicians and public officials speak, I'm totally lost. Me lose track. Nifty friend Steph, good morning and welcome. Me last, me lose track. Don't know where me I go. Who do we tie to our horse and drag down the road this morning? Because Dr. Phillips would have us as fool. Of course, we have Pretty Road. Pretty Road, well, a lot of us, when we are grow up, wouldn't dream about. But can we afford those pretty roads? Can we really afford them pretty road here? Can we afford this pretty road? How much do we have to give up for these pretty road? Remember, the article is 2016. The headline of the article: China Harbor Engineering Company land deal, Shrek land deal excluded from toll. 120 acres still unidentified for transfer. Now, people, you all need to help me here. I tell you, this was going to be a very dunce morning for me. Who get the toll we collect on the highway? Now, the Chinese, them, tell me if I saw it go, I come in a one do propaganda, come a dunce, and you know, say anything will come to do with number. Then I become utter confused because them talk about money and so, and them talk about land measurement. So them something that utter confused when me out of my depths and out of my zone this morning. So it's for you, the audience, to help me with this. So when we were told, when the deal was signed by the Porsche administration, yet Chinese get the toll money collected on the road. So, backside, hold on now, so let me fathom this. So when the land deal are fathom, our government, and tell me if this is my understanding, and if me fool, our government never factor into the contract. China Harbor, I go get the money what we collect from the toll. Depends on your vehicle from $600 to $3,700. Over what period of time does China have that entitlement or lease on the toll? Is it perpetual? Is it a 50-year contract that China Harbor is going to collect and keep the toll money for? Our government never factor into that with the mathematics geniuses. How much China would have accumulated on the debt from the toll road and offset that with some more land or whatever. But we're talking about two separate things here. You give them rights to the toll collection, and you also promise them 1,200 acres of land. Am I right or am I wrong? And also I go 1,200 acres. So if in 20, wanna help me out, no man. Wanna remember me, I deal with number, money and number, and them something that is very difficult for me. So when them factor in the contract with China Harbor, China Harbor get rights to the toll money. How long for? I don't know. I don't see any information of such. Because you know, federal government them love the shady deals. How long will China be collecting the money from the how long is China entitled to the toll money? Or is it a perpetual thing? Rena, good morning and welcome. Is it a perpetual thing? Plus, the whole 1,200 acres of land is a complete different thing. Complete different from all that revenue they've been scoping on the toll road. So China, the state of China is getting a double whammy. So like all the mall and something, them and so on, where Jaffe fix the road, because we're full of that at Jamaica. How all them things they offsetting at the whole deal. Me tell you, say, even though I do contract last school, it wasn't one of my area because it involves whole heap of number and whole heap of measurement, and them something that not work. However, I did pass it, but them something that not work well with me. My issue is though, coming now go read the article for because it's a long article. My issue is, and that's the issue that every Jamaican should have. The land, that wholeness that we heard about, the 750 acres that we've been discussing recently. Would it be fair to ask the question, is wholeness honoring an agreement signed off by the People's National Party? Or this is something totally different? That confused me. This 750 acres of land, is it a part of the 1,200 acre deal? Or is this separate? Because we would have lost the whole of Jamaica now, come match the two of them together. But we would have end up with 1,950 acres of land. So we can drag Andrew for this morning. What we need is both Andrew and the PNP, both the People's National Party and the Jamaica Labour Party, need to clarify to us, is the 750 acres of land, is it honoring the contract Portia signed? Or is this something totally different? And the time that China Harbor was given to develop, that part confused me as well. One whole heap of confusion in the whole mix up your Debbie. One whole heap of confusion in there. Come here, tell you, me literally feel dunce this morning. Literally feel dunce. It is for the Minister of Information and the government. Parkin, good morning and welcome. To clarify to us, is Andrew Holness honoring a deal signed off under Portia Simpson Miller and the People's National Party? Or is this something totally new and separate? Is this a totally new deal with the Chinese that we're not aware of? JJ, good morning and welcome. Information is important. Just like Honest Fitzbailey, I run the Silvera case wide and I leave a lot of speculations out there because of the skewed up information that Fitzbailey is giving to the public with regards to the Melissa Silvera issue. Morning, Stacey. Agnostic, good morning and welcome. It's the same skewed up information that is causing a lot of speculation and possible defamatory statements. So therefore, our governments and public officials have a duty to give us the correct information. We are aware that the 1,200 acres of land deal was signed off under the People's National Administration. Portia is to be tied to our horse for that. This wasn't a deal signed off by Andrew Holness. What the clarity we need from the Andrew Holness-led regime is, are you honoring a deal signed off by the People's National Party? Or is this an Andrew Holness contract? In a wish thing, in a yes, so Dr. Philip respond, all right, in a the loop. Hold on there. There's so much numbers in this article which I'll not go through it because numbers it will get me wholly confused. When it comes to these, I have to only read them for myself. This is why I'm suggesting to you all, read the 4 articles in the description area. It may confuse you like it's confusing a lot of us, but it will shine more light to you on this whole, I think it's in the loop. Yes. PMP defends China land deal. So some question was asked as to who win and who lose. But while it was said that Phillips, well, the arguments were, claims were being made across Jamaica that the Chinese benefited from having tax break, among other things, extensive tax break, duty-free import, no general consumption tax, untold charges to users, and a lot of other benefits to Chinese Harbor Engineering Company under this contract. Here where Dr. Phillips said, uno benefit. The project has delivered modern highway, significant reduction in transportation costs, don't know, and flung wide open corridor to new jobs. Basically what Dr. Phillips is saying here, the way these highway are now, people from Kingston can work in Western or Northern Jamaica. People from Northern Jamaica can work in Kingston and so on. So it's flung open a wide corridor where it's not so hard. It wouldn't be so tedious if one lives in Ocherius and to be working in Kingston. It wouldn't be a tedious travel. Carla Williams, good morning and welcome. So among all the things that China benefited, one of the things that Dr. Philip is saying, your transportation costs is being reduced. And you have the opportunity now to live in Kingston and work in Northern Jamaica, or to live in Northern Jamaica and work in Eastern Jamaica, is what Dr. Phillips seemed to be saying. Housing and tourism opportunity, Dr. Phillips said. Where is it, Dr. Phillips? The housing and tourism opportunity. You see, all of them are liars. All of them failed us. Whether it is the People's National Party or the Jamaica Labour Party, as I refer to them as big teeth and little teeth. Because the truth is, both of them swindle our public purse. Both of them swindle our public purse. Both of them signed away our rights in their pocket interests and the interests of their investors. When you hear this video on corruption, does it sound strange to you? Or is it saying to you, oh, this is something where we're well used to? Are the relationship with Jamaica and China, or are the relationship with our leaders and other corrupt governments? The question one should ask, Philip's reasoning has nothing to do with what the issue we want answer for. It does. His answer does matter because Dr. Phillips is quite influential in the People's National Party. What Dr. Phillips should have done is explain further to Jamaica how they are going to benefit long term from the North-South Highway as much as China has benefit medium and long term. That wasn't explained, Rena. It wasn't, and it is important. It is a misinformation and the misguided information where we're told one thing, but the reality is quite something different. So it is relevant because the state of our country now, we're looking for the People's National Party to return to government in 2025. Samora Terrell, good morning. We're looking for them to return to government in 2025. And if that is the case, this issue will fall right back into the lap of the People's National Party administration. The question, though, it is to be answered by both the People's National Party and the Jamaica Labour Party. This 1,200 acres of land that in 2016, the Gleaner article was saying that land is still not identified to be transferred to China Harbour. That land was still not yet identified. A lot of us was under the impression that a lot of those land that they use to offset the debt for the belt, the Belt and Road contract. A lot of us was of the opinion that those lands were along the highway that those lands were given. The Gleaner article in 2019 said those land, that 1,200 acres of land is still unidentified. Sorry, it is then important for both the Jamaica Labour Party and the People's National Party to answer us this question. Is Andrew Holness honoring a deal signed off by Portia Simpson and the People's National Party administration? Or is this 750 acres of land something totally different from the 1,200 acres under the Belt and Road contract? It is important for both parties to answer that question. The People's National Party, who signed off on it, and the Jamaica Labour Party, who has to honor it. So it is important that we are informed as to the actualities of it. And but when you listen to that corruption video, is our government not tied to their balls by strategically corrupt countries such as China? Because China is a very corrupt country, but they are strategic with it. They are very aggressive with it, but in soft power. The issue we are having as Jamaica Carlos and I was discussing the other day, when you read the Lawfare Media Organization article, good morning, Raymond, and welcome. Under the headline, Assessing China Presence and Power in the Caribbean. This was an article June 2021. was Highway 2000 bill with lands concession given in the contract also. That I'm not sure, that I will have to look into, because a lot of these things we are, even though they're not new, we are becoming aware of them because a lot of us weren't looking into them. A lot of the JLP is looking to pick up on the deal and sign off to continue the deal. A lot of us weren't paying attention. People are paying attention more now. So a lot of us are understanding or pulling things and understanding the nitty gritty of this deal. But as Carlos and I was discussing the other day, and if you read the article, the suggestion is that the Cold War is being fought in the Caribbean. The Cold War between the United States and this Republic of China is being fought in the Caribbean. And it is going to get deepening. It is going to get worse because the more China decide to take a foothold into Jamaica, is the more the United States is going to be disgruntled and want to counter such a presence and an influence in their very backyard. Do you all remember when there was the whole Goat Island argument where Portia wanted to, or the argument was Portia wanted to sign Goat Island to the Chinese for the Chinese to build a harbor in Goat Island. Do you remember how swift the United States Secret Service issued Barack Obama to Jamaica? And all of a sudden, all of that was rolled back. Because it would have been war. It would have been war for China to have a self-controlled harbor in America's backyard. It would have been war. So when we say Jamaica, Jamaica is a strategic country placed in a strategic area of the Western Hemisphere. Our leaders have to be very careful of how they balance power between the enemies of the two friends, or the two enemies who are their two friends. Or prime ministers or leaders are playing with fire. You know why they're playing with fire? Because when the US and China start their hullabaloo in our country, all of our leaders, Portia Simpson have our house in the United States. PJ have house all about including France. Me don't know if Bruce Golden have foreign house. Morning, Delroy Henry. Morning. Me don't know if Bruce Golden have foreign house. Andrew have house awowo yonder. When the bangarang start, them have them ship and private helicopter and yacht for jump, and they have their diplomatic pass to usher them safely out of your country into another country. And we want to go left in the bangarang when the group that the US sponsored and the group that the Chinese sponsored is ripping up our country. Andrew Holness, veterans of ask you, sir. Morning, Beulah, morning. Veterans of ask you, sir. The old man who used to ride the bicycle, the piece of land where you build your mansion pan, the old man who used to ride the bicycle. What happened to the old man? How much you pay for the land? Or you just get your friend them down a source or so, they just give you a title. We know so your wife come up there come thief land too. So we just wonder that old man there with it own the land where your man can build pansar. How much you pay for it? And is your title legitimate? Or it just one where you can't verify, like your asset prime minister? So meanwhile, you can answer over the piece of land there, while you got answer to it. Is this your new deal with the Chinese? Is this your new deal with the Chinese prime minister? Or are you honoring a deal that was signed off by the People's National Party? And we should ask Mark Golden, if he comes to power 2025, will he be honest with us on the exact details of the deal? And if there is a negotiation to be had, will Mark Golden revisit the deal? We should ask that question, because we seem to be giving up too much here. We're giving up perpetual land, 1,200 acres, and they have the money right to the road. So what does the economy of Jamaica benefit from the North-South Highway? No, sir. Why did you do the bicycle man like that, Prime Minister? How much you pay for the old man land, sir? Hmm? How much you pay for the old man land? Did you pay anything at all? Just like how your wife in a court a batter over people and when bill no boy them. No, sir, me couldn't. Hey, for a couple name call upon so much stolen goods and them still walk around in a crowd and all up them face. You know them not no shame. Them can't have shame for every day. Andrew and Juliet name a call upon stolen goods and them still hold up them head in a crowd. But Jamaica is under threat from a rebellion. Morning, cousin Mern, morning. Not a rebellion that Jamaican people want, but a rebellion that is sponsored. A rebellion that is sponsored, are they acquiring those questionable private land by eminent domain? Jamaican TV, until them give us the correct information or informed us, then we're going to be always in a speculatory mood. And if that man that they attack when he says speculative live, speculatory, speculative live, possibly. However, it is for our public officials and administrators to inform us on the decisions they've taken on our behalf. And this, we don't know where it stands at the moment. But this is one of the questions that should be asked on the election campaign. Does the 750 acres of land include the 1,200 acres, or are they separate? Is the 750 acres of land a part of the contract? Good morning, Sophie Bell Henry. Is the 750 acres of land a part of the deal signed off under Mama P administration? Is that wholeness honoring a deal by the People's National Party? Or is this something totally new between Wholeness and his Chinese counterpart? We must always be of the knowledge China Harbor is not a private investor. China Harbor is a state-owned company. It's the state, it's the People's Republic of China, or the Republic of China, whichever one you want to call it, old or new. The Republic of China or the People's Republic of China. Carla Hayes, good morning. whichever one you want to call it. So we're not talking about government and private investor here. We're talking about one state giving away its land rights, valuable land, to another country, when on the side as well, you're giving them financial rights in the contract you signed with them to in the Belt and Road Initiative. They have the rights to recoup from the toll. And we still have to give them hundreds of acres of our lands, land that Jamaicans doesn't have. The hospital, the child and adolescent hospital down in Montego Bay, where it's a gift from China. China not giving nothing free. When you hear China talk about gift, nothing no go so. And our government know well. What they need to do is tell us what secret deal they signed behind us. It's a gift from China. The Child and Adolescents Hospital is a gift from China. Natalia Freeman, how are you? How are you? Morning, morning. A gift from China, they would have us believe. Do you believe the hospital where you say wholeness stand up and a bow span where they say soon finish? Do you believe China take up one whole free hospital give it? When China look for backsite, China look for land, China look for place to offload its overpopulation. You're limited to having only one child in China because of the overpopulation. They're looking for place to offload their prisoners. What a day when the bangarang start. Wake up, Jamaican people. Wake up. You're about to be invaded right under your nose. You're about to have a civil war invoked in your country that has nothing to do with you. Angela Mercedes, good morning. Mercedes, sorry. You're about to embark on a civil war in your country which has nothing to do with you. You're going to face the force of capitalism and communism going at it in your country again, like they did in the late 70s and 80s, because of the decisions of our leaders. The sticky grubby finger decision, the sticky grubby finger decision of our leaders, who, when getting into these deals, do not take the country and the people's development into consideration, but rather more so continue to enrich themselves illicitly. I really know 6 of them should have under the scope at the moment. We should have all past and previous, present and previous politicians under the scope, dead or alive, and let's, even the dead one, them, we disgrace them. We give them posthumous disgrace for what they have done to our country and the finances of our country, how they have held back the development of our country, how they have stolen from our public purse for over 70 years to the detriment of our people lying in hospital on floor, waiting to die rather than waiting for treatment, because this is our reality. So we want question, we want answer to the questions on the land deals that we're asking about. Those of you who will be going to the polls, those of you who your politician will be coming in your community to hug you laugh with you and talk to you like you're them as sexes and you know them from Adams for the first time. Ask them the question. Ask them the question. Tell them to go and investigate and come back to you with an answer. Your vote depends on truth and honesty. Hmm? You can't just be going out there and giving away your children's future. And then afterward, you're back in your house and talk about, I love my children. When China secure land rights for their children in your country, and you sit down in your country and say you love your children then, and land rights don't matter to you, these are the questions to ask when your political representative drive up upon you, roll up upon you, come slay out them dustpat and run back a corner shop. These are the questions on if you ask them a corner shop. Ask them about land rights. Ask them about land reform. But don't just go to the poll because your favorite politician put $5,000 in your hand. Because they're not going to give you more than 13,000 max. God help you if you not get 20,000. God really help you. But on the wholeness, if the country is responding the way Hanover and Kingston and St. Andrew is responding, you're in a box cover problem. No wonder why you don't look, sound, or feel enthusiastic. I am your brother. When you touch me, when you see me, you know I am real. I am one of you. I am your brother. I am your uncle. I could be your father. I am one of your family. No prime minister. No prime minister. No prime minister. How much of our country does the Chinese own? How much do we owe to the Chinese? How much do we owe to the Chinese? What's our risk in this Cold War between the West and the East over influence in the Caribbean, but more so in Jamaica? Because Jamaica, in the Caribbean, it's where China have its biggest investment. Strategic, full of resources, rich lands, backside, strategic port in the Western Hemisphere. Uno see the problem where we in. Uno see the problem where we leader them draw we in when they do not make deals in our interest, but in the interest of propping up themselves. How much of this multi-billion contract for the Belt and Road Initiative gets swindled between the Chinese and the Jamaican official? The Chinese are very corrupt. They are corrupt, but they are strategic with it. That's why our leaders, they have them hanging by the balls. That's why they have our leaders hanging by the balls, because they are some top brass corrupt people. And when they get corrupt leaders like we have in Africa and the Caribbean, China is put in a place where it is going to be a bumpy ride ahead. Let's fair in an assessment here, and let's bash the US and the West here. Rondell B., good morning and welcome. 500 years of relationship with the Western hegemon. 500 years of relationship. They use the slaves and the enslaved to build their Western economy. They use the material of countries such as Jamaica and the human resources to build Western economy. And for 500 years of that relationship we have in America with America and the West, it is fair to say, though, that the development we've seen under the Chinese, infrastructure-wise, we have not seen that in the relationship we have with the Americans. Why? The Americans are corrupt, grubby, and greedy as well. But controlling the hegemon, what the Americans depend on is having very corrupt leaders who benefit America economy and self-interest and oil, oh yes, oil the American war machine. So America doesn't see our countries as partnership in development in the way China would be doing it. The issue, though, the issue is our corrupt leaders who, when signing these deals, not taking the interests of the Jamaican economy and the Jamaican people into account. This is where we ended this morning in this confusion. But please do ask your leaders. Deep meth, Daddy. Deep, deep meth. Ask your leaders when they come to canvass for your vote. Are we going to revisit these land deals? Are we going to have land reform and land distribution so Jamaicans, those who are the descendants of those who bled and died to build Western economy, will we have land to live and farm? That is the question you should be asking your politician. Thank you all very much for being here with us this afternoon. I promise to bring you, I don't see beat and teach for morning. Beat and teach, where you there? Anybody see beat and teach, boy? Yeah? But I promise to bring you 2 interviews from Portland this evening. One from Portland East and one from Portland West. So if you don't see me at 6 o'clock, you will understand. But let's see how it goes. However, I will repeat myself again. This is not a People's National Party canvassing. This is Canvass Jamaica. Everybody is welcome here. If you have a market stall, a hand cart, a piece of canvas for show you think them bend down, come and lay your stall out. Don't let anybody think the JLP is afraid to come over here, or this is the People's National Party supporting station. No, anyone. Oh, it's 8 a.m. in Canada. It's almost 1 a.m. It's almost 1 p.m. in London now. Anyone from any of the political party that want to come over here and lay their stall out, the opportunity is here until the 24th of November, the last 24 hours before election. We will not give any political representative airtime.
This is Global TV election campaign coverage. This is Global TV election campaign coverage. This is.
So thank you very much for being here with us this afternoon, this morning. We appreciate your presence here, and we will definitely be back with you all later. Thank you very much, and good afternoon.